Dan Lalande is a local award-winning author who writes about film and TV. His latest book looks at an unheralded movement that permitted women to reclaim major creative roles within the industry. It's called Girls Just Want to Have Funny, Female Film Comedies of the 1980s. And Dan joins us now. I'm so excited for you. This is great. I'm just wondering about how you came up with this topic and this idea for the book.
Well, it was rooted in the book that I had written before this one, which was a book about I think the greatest generation of male actors ever, all the ones that I saw coming to the fore in the 1970s.
I knew you were going to say that.
So Dustin Hoffman, Robert De Niro, Jack Nicholson, Robert Duvall, all those guys. And I was reintroduced to the fact that though the 70s was the height of feminism, at that time, the films about women, made for women, made by women, virtually non-existent. And there was a huge movement, particularly among female film critics, who said, you know, guys, like, this has got to change. We need gender balance here, big time. And then finally, toward the end of the decade, some very creative, enterprising, dynamic women inside the industry, Jane Fonda, Goldie Hawn, they all said, okay, we're going to do this. But they were afraid that people might say, nah, you know, don't I want to spend money to watch women on a soapbox for 2 hours? So they said, we're going to try it as a comedy, because maybe if we add a little sugar to this, you know, we sugarcoat it a little bit, it'll be more palatable. Everyone was kind of nervous about it, including themselves. But what happens in 1980? That summer, 9 to 5, which ends up being the cover of the book,
there you go, Dolly Parton.
And Goldie Hawn has a wonderful comedy that comes out in the fall called Private Benjamin, another really big hit.
Right.
And the male-dominated industry goes, oh, look at this.
Oh, I didn't know.
And this whole explosion of female film comedy happens throughout the 80s. As an echo today, when you see Bridesmaids, the Barbie movie, all these films with Tina Fey, Melissa McCarthy, Pitch Perfect.
Yes.
It's all still going.
It goes on and on. We were just chatting a little bit before this, and you said how you were just a little bit hesitant, a little bit nervous, thinking, coming up with this and saying, but I'm a guy and I'm researching, I'm going to write about these women. I mean, how did it evolve? How was the writing process and then the final product here? How are you feeling about it?
I worried about it every day. You know, cultural appropriation, it's a big thing. I thought, am I qualified to do this? But you know, the research showed that nobody had written this book. I would have rather a woman wrote it, but nobody was writing it. Very unheralded movement in film history that needed to be spotlighted. So I thought, I'm going to take it upon myself, regardless of gender, to do it. And I'm really glad that I did it. And the proof that it worked was that the first person I showed it to, the first reader, was a woman, a professional I had tremendous respect for. And I said, so how did you feel about a guy writing this book? And she said, I think it's wonderful that a man wrote this book because it shows that these female voices are being heard by somebody other than themselves. So I'm happy to say, pulled it off.
You did it, exactly. Can you tell us about, you know, maybe a specific incident within the book itself that you can kind of share with us?
Well, you know, people forget that this movement, the other thing that it did is that the creative female imprint in Hollywood came back in a big way. Early days of the industry, we're going way back to the silent era. You know, they were 50% of the show. They were producers. They had their own studios.
I did not know
they
that.
were directors. I mean, everything.
Okay.
What happened was sound film comes in 1927. And the studios at that time also respectively owned a chain of theaters. They each owned a chain of theaters, so they owned the whole shebang. And now they all had to rejig everything for sound, which is pretty expensive. So they went to the banks and said, hey guys, we need the money here to rejig for sound. And the bank said, well, you know, women are a financial liability.
That's right.
So as long as you fire all of these women, you can have your money for sound.
Man.
And what happened was almost 60 years where women were badly represented, I mean, hopelessly sidelined in terms of major creative voice other than, you know, actors, until this movement restored all that.
That's fantastic. Okay. Congratulations again on this accomplishment.
Well,
Girls Just Want to Have Funny, Female Film Comedies of the 1980s. You did this. Big endeavor. Done. What's next? You know, we have to ask you that.
On the way here today, I slipped the contract in the mailbox. So it's official. It's official. Next book is a book on Steve Martin.
Oh.
which would be fun because he's such a Renaissance guy. There's a lot to write about.
Absolutely.
As a writer, as a movie star, as a comedian, as a musician. I mean,
he plays a banjo really well,
That's
doesn't
right.
he? Right?
He does.
Oh,
yeah,
that
very
would be
accomplished.
great.
So that'll be fun.
Can't wait for that one, and can't wait to get into this one here. Once again, congratulations to you. We can pick up this book wherever.
Best places to go. Good old Amazon, both .com and .ca, whichever you prefer, or you can go directly to the publisher's site, which is bearmanormedia.com.
bearmanormedia.com. Dan Lalande, congratulations, Lalande. Thank you so much for coming by here. I'm going to take this copy right now. I'm just going to take it.